All right, here's some help with the constructed response number 5. So this is dealing with parallelograms. So here are some reminders of some of those properties of parallelograms that we have learned. So all the interior angles add to 360. Both pair of opposite sides are parallel. This is the symbol for parallel. Both pair of opposite sides are congruent, so their measures are equal to each other. The opposite angles are also equal to each other. Consecutive angles are supplementary. That means that if they are consecutive next to each other here, they add to 180. Remember, supplementary says they add to 180. And then the diagonals bisect each other. So there's only 5 problems on this constructed response. Numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all very similar. So let me show you the basics on how to work those. This is an example. So we know both pair of opposite sides are congruent. So this side, AD, would be equal to BC. So you can simply set up an equation, and like I said, this is the same for the first 4 problems. You simply set these up equal to each other, and you'll have an equation. So we can say that x plus 6 is equal to 4x minus 3. And then you're simply solving for x like you would any other problem. So we want all our x's on one side and our constants on another side. So it doesn't really matter which side you go. I always look at the larger x value. And so I'm going to subtract x from this side, subtract x from both sides to get rid of this x right here. So that equals 0, right? So now I've just bring down my 6. 4x minus 1x gives me 3x minus 3. Now I want to move the 3 on this side. So it's a negative, so I have to add it to both sides to get rid of it on the right side. So now I have 3x is equal to 6 plus 3 is 9. And now remember, to get the x by itself, then I'll have to divide both sides by 3. And so x is equal to 3. So the first 3 problems, they just want you to solve for x. So you just set up your equation, solve for x. Number 4, they want you to find the measure of one of the sides. So let's say that I want the measure of AD. So first I do the same thing. I find x, then I have to plug x in here. So if I plug x in, side AD is equal to x plus 6. So I'm going to plug in my x, 3 plus 6. Side AD is equal to 9. And now we've got our answer. I could plug it in here too, right? These sides are equal. So BC is going to have to be 9. 4 times 3 is 12. Minus 3 is going to give me 9 as well. Number 5 is talking about the angles, so it's a little different. So I've got one example like that. So also for parallelograms, the opposite angles are equal. Okay, opposite angles are equal. And consecutive angles, these 2 angles add to 180. So let's say I want the measure of angle B. So we know D and B are the same measure. So I can find the value of x, find what angle D is, and then I'll know B is the same. So this time, angle A and angle D are not equal. They are supplementary. So my equation is going to be a little different. I'm going to say that 2x minus 10 plus x minus 11 is equal to 180 because they're supplementary. But now that I have my equation, I'm simply going to solve for x. So the first thing I want to do is combine my like terms. So I have an x here and a 2x here. So when I combine those, 2x plus 1x gives me 3x. And then I've got a negative 10 and a negative 11. So those together are going to give me a minus 21. And that equals 180. All right, so now I simply want to add I want to get the 21 to this side because I already have my x's on one side by itself, right? So I'm going to add 21 to both sides. And so then that will get my constants on the other side. So when I add 21 to both sides, I get that 3x is equal to 201. And then I'm simply going to divide both sides by 3. And when I do that, I get that x is equal to 67. Now, angle D is equal to x minus 11. So I'm going to plug in my 67 minus 11. So if I have 67 minus 11, that gives me the measure of angle D is going to equal 56. And I know D and B are the same, so angle B is also equal to 56. So that's how you're going to do number 5. Hope this helps.